Jeff Wyatt's Memorial Speakers Corner, London, 22nd of October 2022.
Jeff Wyatt is why I'm here. The reason I'm here for Jeff Wyatt, and this is a beautiful story, I was walking through Norwich after the murderers rally, and one of my friends, socialist worker, she was sat at a little stool, and she said, "Why did you take a stand with that awful right-wing fascist man?" And I said, "You can't call Piers Corbyn a right-wing fascist." I don't know if she laughed or not because she's wearing a bloody mask. So this socialist worker was confronting me over being on a platform with Jeff, and I just looked at her and said, "He knows more about freedom than you do, and I'm afraid we're not friends anymore."
Hi, I'm Catherine Armitage, and I work for a little magazine called Brighter Times. I met Jeff on the first day of January in 2021, and he was moving wood in the car park at Nash, and I asked him if he'd had a good Christmas, and he said he'd had the most challenging Christmas of his life, and things were very upsetting for him, he said. And I thought to myself, boy, this man is brave. He has the bravery to say what I couldn't admit to myself, that Christmas was highly depressing that year. And
very much, and thank you for organising, whoever organised today, a chance to pay our respects to Jeff. He was such an incredible man and hugely inspiring. Kate Shemirani asked me to speak on her behalf. She's indisposed today, and I'm very happy to do so. And she spoke frequently with Jeff, as I did, and had a close friendship with him, and was hugely inspired by his work and dedication to the movement.
Hi. Thank you for this opportunity to say a few words about what Jeff meant to me, and maybe others will identify with it as well. I can't claim to have been a good friend of Jeff's or to have had many conversations with him, as I only know him in the context of marches and protests. But to me, he was a central figure of the freedom movement already by the time I joined. I know now from day one. I also now know of his love of motor racing, and that he carried on enjoying his life despite being acutely aware of what is happening, which to the likes of me is terrifying, and is a lesson to us all. Be like Jeff and enjoy life as much as possible. Do what you are passionate about until your last day, as he did. Being terrified was not Jeff, though, from what I saw. He was also he was always a strong, steady figure, always composed. He was the man you could look to through the crowd to give you confidence to stand your ground.
A well-known military strategy is that you choose your battles. And in May 2020, amidst this unprecedented lockdown, about 50 brave souls came here. They were outnumbered by police. To my shame, I stayed at home. I thought it was too soon, too hostile, too risky. But Jeff Wyatt, my good friend, had the courage and commitment, and he was undeterred. And I watched the live stream, I think it was, which otherwise was ignored and later vilified by the mainstream media. And so I watched Jeff with his famous placard, Freedom Over Fear. I think somebody's got a copy of it, there it is. Targeted by Metropolitan Police officers. He was arrested and taken away in a van. And of course, many of us have also been arrested, or have been fined, or have been intimidated in some way by the police over the last 2.5 years. And we wear it as a badge of honour. That day, in May 2020, when just a few of us were here, and not me, but hands up anyone that was there that day. Here you are. Well, you mean you haven't all died of COVID yet? I thought you were...
Much like Kara, I'm not accustomed to public speaking. I didn't plan to say anything today, but I had Jeff in my mind, in my ear, just urging me, as he always did. And as Kara just said, I travelled with Jeff up and down the country, and I have to thank him for that, because I wouldn't have been able to do that. I made it today on my own steam to London for the first time without Jeff. He always reserved a seat in his car for me, and if I think back to 3 years ago, if someone said to me that I would be at a protest, wielding a placard, walking around the streets of London, or indeed any other city or town up and down England, I would not have believed them. If somebody said to me that I wouldn't have worn a mask and I would have challenged people, I would have spoken to the police, I would have resisted, I wouldn't have believed them. I was not somebody that could do that, but Jeff showed me how to do that. Courage leads to courage, right? And that's what he did for me. And I just want to tell you one story about one of the marches that we went on. It was one of the really big London marches, and we'd arrived and there was just a sea of people, and the atmosphere is always amazing. I think you'll all agree that everyone is on a high, we're all united, fighting for the same thing. And I remember walking along with Jeff, carrying the placard, with all the horns going and everybody yelling and the halos going off. And he said to me, "Isn't this amazing?" He said, "Oh my God, isn't this amazing? This is what it's all about."
Jeff would have wanted me to talk about. Well, fantastic you're all here. This is a brilliant thing for Jeff. But it's not the end for Jeff. Every 16th of September, every year, we'll have unity rallies in the name of Jeff. That was the day he died. Jeff Wyatt died on the 16th of September. So, how did I get to know a right-wing businessman from Milton Keynes? Well, the answer is, here, on the 16th of May, this year, I was arrested, and namely he was arrested shortly afterwards, and we know what followed. Millions eventually marched, including you, and the point is, had we not stood up then and you not marched, we wouldn't be here now. Jeff was an amazing campaigner and a unifying force.
I just want to say, I knew Jeff Wyatt. I think he was a gentle giant, a true gentleman, true English gentleman. And he actually came to my support without me asking him. It was his legacy will live on forever. God bless you, Jeff. A true English hero. Thank you, everybody.
I just want to say, first of all, to Lucy and Sasha, that you should be so proud of Jeff, because he saved so many lives, and what he was doing, but he was always really supportive, and he was always unifying, and he did say it how it was. He was probably one of the only people that didn't really want to buy me a drink.
One thing, when I did meet Jeff in Milton Keynes with my son and everything, we were kind of showing our solidarity with Australia, and we came out with the Australian flag on a poster. My son had coloured it all in, and we were saying we stand with Australia, because in Melbourne it was horrendous. They locked everybody up. And at a meeting afterwards, because Jeff had a friend in Australia, he read out an email, and he was very choked up when he read this email out, because he couldn't believe. Obviously his friend understood what was going on, but many people didn't, and they were caught up in the mass hysteria and the mass psychosis, as you could call it, and he was locked up and people were committing suicide. And I just, as I say, I feel sad that I didn't say what a fantastic guy he was when he was alive to his face, and I just hope maybe he can hear me somewhere.
And I think it's the 19th of November is the next big rally, is that right? Well, we've got to make sure it's a big rally. And we need to beware.
Thanks for tuning in to the Two Boomers News. If you like these videos, please share the link.